really like burger. I really like burger. I want to eat a burger right now. Burger. I really love all the meats and the patty of the bun and the grill. I like the grill on the burger. The grill. If you ever thought about eating a burger, you'd agree with me. Because you'd know that burgers are one of the most savory, tastiest, greatest experiences for your olfactory, senses, olfactory senses. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for that word. I couldn't quite find it, but I found the word. It's olfactory senses. That's smell and taste. You know, the senses you need to eat a burger. And if you had olfactory senses, you'd know a thing or two about eating burgers. They're actually one of the most popular foods in America. Not a lot of people know about this, especially not outside of the Americas, but burgers are a really big deal if you think about it. Another thing I like to think about sometimes is those fish that they used to keep in the Walmarts. They had fish. They had fish in there. There were definitely fish in Walmart. I used to go into the Walmart and I would hang out at the Walmart. And I used to love doing that because of all the fish there. I loved hanging out with those fishy boys. The boys, they were fish boys. Boys that are fish. And then one of them got me. One of them got me good. I would always hang out near the betta fish, but the goldfish were real close. They were real close. They were right next to it. And those are the ones you got to look out for. The goldfish are the ones that get you. Oh, they get you. One of those deceitful freaks was able to convince me to come over to their section and stick my hand into their dominion. It must have had the employees' surveillance patterns memorized, because right as I'd come over, an employee saw me stick my hand into the container. They saw it happen. They saw it happen right before their very own eyes. I can't believe I managed to get out of there alive. Worst experience of my life. But that's not the point. The point's just to say, I thought about those fish a lot. Those fish were really important to me, and I don't really get to hang out with them anymore. It's really kind of sad. So sad. One of the weird things about fish is that they manage to live in water somehow. I don't know what's up with that. Water, one of the four elements. There's four of them. There's four elements. There's earth, then there's wind or air, and then there's fire. And then there's the home of our fishy friends, water. Maybe the strangest element. They say it's sort of free-flowing, and it can take a lot of different shapes. Quite strange, if you ask me. It's said by Burckhardt here in this book on page 74 that water corresponds to the passive pole of the soul. Here on page 74, like I said, it says, it can be seen that the plurality of the elements derives from the opposition of fire and water. That is, from the pair activity, passivity, which of course corresponds to the pair forma, materia. And skipping forward, it says, through the union of opposites, the soul becomes fluid fire and fiery water. But that's not the point. The point is, I just kind of think water's weird, right? I mean, what's the deal with that? What's the deal? I mean, it's weird. How did it get here? What's its deal? What's the deal with it? I mean, come on. I mean, nobody really believes in this stuff, right? Nobody believes in water, right? I mean, that's just weird. Well, I guess it could be. I don't want to be unreasonable. I always like to give both sides a fair chance in these sorts of matters, these sorts of issues. I don't think it's good to disregard other people's ideas just because you aren't quite sure they're right, but, yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of ridiculous. I don't know. It's pretty weird. It's just odd is all I'm saying. I just stay skeptical a little bit. I also think the Earth is probably flat. Like the Earth is definitely flat, right? That's definitely how it is. Well, I mean, definitely, maybe, probably, who knows? It's not really up to me to decide, but that's just how I feel about things. But if you look at it, it looks flat, right? Like the ground on your feet, it's not curved or nothing. And you look at other things, and basically nothing isn't how it looks if you think about it. I look at my little Rubik's Cube. I look at that and it's square, and nobody says it's not a square. A cube, not a square. And nobody says that's not a cube. But then you look at the Earth and people say, well, that looks flat, sure, but it's not. It's definitely not flat. And, that's just odd. But it's still, I guess these things are debatable. It's not really certain. I just haven't really heard any good arguments for why the Earth is round. But, one of the things I think about a lot is how water is also flat, right? That's kind of pretty interesting. It's pretty true. It's weird, but that's true. And the water sort of serves as a natural level. So if you think about it, if the water was curved, then maybe the Earth would be curved, but it's not. It's flat, so the Earth must also be flat, I think. Yeah, that's probably true. And the cool thing about that is that that's perfectly in line with my experience of the world, so I don't have to reconsider or think functionally differently about how I move throughout the world. I don't like having to do that when things are different from how I perceive them. It's just not very fun. It's just very important to me that my expectations are never subverted or denied. I need consistency. Consistency is what I need. That's what I need. Not a lot of people are really able to provide this to me, though. It's really bothersome because I try so hard to find someone who's as consistent as me, and I can't do it. I can't find someone, but it is what it is, I guess. One of the most consistent experiences for me is probably eating a burger. Whenever I get one of those, I basically have the same experience every time. And maybe that's part of why I like them so much. They're so simple, yet effective. It's as Einstein once said, probably. Things should be as simple as possible, but no simpler. The burger, the hamburger, cheeseburger, if you're feeling creative, is perhaps one of the more simple foods, but it's incredibly effective and a really powerful taste experience. The flavor profile can carry you through numerous worlds and and a variety of life experiences all through one simple bite. One bite is incredible. And if you think about it, burgers have at least 3 of the 4 elements in them, right? You've got you could say maybe the beef or the sort of the cheese maybe is sort of earth. It's sort of an earthier substance. Maybe the bun as well, since it's a grain that grows out of the ground. But then you could say that maybe tomatoes or lettuce is kind of a water-oriented ingredient, since they're sort of juicier or wet sometimes. You get like sort of still fresh lettuce. And since the meat's cooked, you could say that's kind of like fire elementally oriented. The only one I can't really think of is air. Can't quite put my finger on that air. But that makes sense. I mean, air is kind of hard to grasp in a physical way, too. You can get your hands on most of the rest of them, though sometimes it doesn't feel particularly good, especially in the case of fire. I mean, that'll burn you. That'll get you good. Kind of like those fish. They got me. I love audio podcast.